Good morning, everyone. It's Brenda Quintana here. I hope you're doing well today. I have big news. I'm going to tell you about it after I've done my video, but it's been a busy week. Do I always say that? Maybe I do. Maybe that's just life now. But truly, it was a crazy week last weekend. So I'll tell you my news after I go through the video because I really want to show you today's project. A couple of weeks ago, while I was in the grocery store, I picked up these cute little bottles of Martinelli's sparkling cider. They came in a little four-pack. Just I've already destroyed my 4-pack, but they were shrink wrapped in this little container. So if I can find these in my grocery store, I hope you'll be able to find them as well. If you can't find them where you live, I live in the US, so I have a link in the Amazon store. I think it's a pack of 12 or something like that. This is just a little mini pack of 4, but I thought this is really cute because this is non-alcoholic, so no alcohol. And I think that's great for a lot of different things. Like if you're giving this, like say someone at work got a promotion, or it doesn't matter. Whatever you want to congratulate someone for, you could make up one of these. It could be for a birthday, but you can do it in such a way. It's like sparkle. It looks like a little champagne bottle, but it's non-alcoholic. So you can give it to almost anyone, and it will be like a cute little thing to celebrate. It's festive, but you don't have to feel like, ooh, I can't, bring alcohol into work, or if you're doing these up as an event. So let me show you the holder. You probably want to see that. So this is the little holder I created. And it's kind of simple in design. There's 3 pieces to it. I'm going to show it to you, the 3 different pieces, when I switch to my other camera, because it's kind of hard to do it with a heavy bottle and do it in the air. I might crash everything, but it's kind of cute, so you can make it in whatever colors you want, and I'll show you how it all goes together. But I just think these are just kind of cute and fun. Have these around for like a little birthday celebration, or whatever you want. So I hope you can find these if you're looking for them. I do not know if champagne bottles, like mini champagne bottles, will fit in this holder, because I know I'm going to get that question. I designed it specifically for this. This is like an 8.4 ounce 250 ml bottle. Okay, so it's not the big bottles, it's the mini bottles. So I don't know what else this will hold. I didn't go out and get little champagne bottles, because this is supposed to be, for sparkling non-alcoholic cider. So I hope you'll appreciate that. And you can go test it out. So I will tell you how tall it is. So I'm just gonna measure right here. This little guy, I'm leaning back, he's about 7.5 inches tall, maybe a little less. So if I just grab up my ruler here, he's like about 7.5 inches tall. So, and then the width, of course, let me tell you that my box width on the bottom is 2 3/8. So on the bottom across here, it's about 2 3/8. So if you want to go and measure this and use it for something else, please feel free. I just thought these were just cute, and I like the fact that, not that I'm against alcohol or anything, it's just we have to be really, careful for some events. Some places are non-alcoholic, and sometimes you just wouldn't want to bring that into a workplace or whatever. So this is a nice alternative. And so I'm going to show you how to make this holder. So let's get started. Oh, before I go and show you stuff, I will have a project sheet ready for you tomorrow, and that will have all the measurements, and I'll have a photo and a supply list, and that will be emailed out to my email list subscribers. But you must be on my email list. If you are not already on my email list, look down below in the description of the video and there will be a link. Sign up for my email list and just click on that link. Make sure you respond to the email, because once you sign up, you're going to get an email in your inbox saying to confirm that you actually want to be on my list, and then you should get a little welcome email from me after you have confirmed. And I do have a host code this month. This is my May host code, and if you place at least a $50 order in May, you will be getting these cute tinsel gems in June. That will be mailed to you. I should be getting my gifts from last month very soon. I placed an order this week because they were only available this week, and so those should be mailing out within the next week or week and a half. So there's just a little bit of a delay. Get the order, make some thank you cards, pop them in with the thank you cards, and then mail them out to everyone who orders from me. So I appreciate all of you who order from me, and thank you so much. That is my host code. I'll be talking about all the products I used in a moment, and you can find supply lists on my blog, and you can find a supply list down below in the YouTube description. Okay, now we're going to pop over and I'm going to show you how this thing comes together first. Okay, so I've talked a lot about the cider bottle, so that's good. So this piece, this band right here, is actually keeping this whole thing together. So if you slide this up, okay, and off, it's like a belly band. It's a fancy belly band. And I just want to point out, this fringe was not hand cut. There is an absolutely fabulous little die in the Beautiful Balloons bundle, and it creates the fringe for you. It's so great. I really love it. It's very simplistic design, and it just works wonderful to create this fringe, so I don't have to hand cut it. So this acts like a belly band, and this is what holds everything together. So now you can slide out your bottle out of this part. So this is kind of a tall, skinny thing that's holding your bottle in place, and this is like a very secure bottom to just kind of keep everything just held in place. So that just goes in there, then you slide it in there, and you just need to tuck that up top here, and then you take this and you slide it over the top. I've got a little bit of baker's twine, so I'm just going to untuck that, and it's a simple design, but it looks really pretty, I think. The only one thing I will tell you, you don't want anything sticking out beyond here with your decoration. That's why this is on a steep angle, because this thing needs to slide off, right? So if it's beyond that, this is going to have trouble coming up. So you just need to make sure to keep your decoration within this realm here. Okay. Let's talk about some of the supplies that I used. Let me pop this somewhere out of the way. Got a lot of stuff on my desk this morning. Okay, this is the main ingredient. It's called Beautiful Balloons Bundle. This is new in the annual catalog, which was just released this week. The bundle contains the stamp set, so I used a few of the stamps out of there, and this fabulous die set. So this is going to be great for creating birthday celebrations, anniversaries, congratulations, anything you need to congratulate someone for. This is a great bundle. I'm very excited. I'm not always excited about just kind of generic balloon bundles, but I love this one. You've got this curved greeting here. It's just got a lot going for it. So I bought that during the pre-order. Okay, so let's talk about a couple other things I used. I've been using this punch a lot lately. This is the Very Best Trio punch, and again, I'm using that for this top corner right here. This top corner. It's a very useful punch because you can use it to create labels, and it makes really nice end things. Sometimes I also use the slot punch, but this time I'm only using that one corner. And then for that label that comes across that says, I think it's time for a celebration, I use this label punch to punch both of those ends. It kind of makes it look like a little bit of a ticket. So it does have a festive sort of feel. Okay, I think I've talked about the main ingredients. Oh, one more thing. We have some new colors. We did a color renovation. So this is my color scheme. I've got a lemon lime twist and berry burst. These are two returning in colors. And then I've got a completely new color, azure afternoon. And I think if you had Pacific Point ever as a color, this is a lighter, like I would call it a lighter version of Pacific Point. It's just a nice bright medium blue, and it just looks nice with all of these colors. There's beautiful balloons as part of a suite. There is paper that matches the suite. I did not use the paper on this project, but I wanted to mention it in case you were getting the bundle and you wanted to add some matching paper for another project. So this is the bright and beautiful 6x6 paper. I didn't put this in my supply list, so I'll give you the item number. It's 161449, and this could be used like as an alternative. Because I did this bright belly band, that's probably where I would have put the paper if I had put the paper. So, you know, I just didn't want to cram things on here. It just looked good as it was. So, but if you're making a birthday card next with this, then maybe use some of this paper, because that will be like the easy button to make it a quick card. Okay. I think we're ready to get started. Let me grab my scoring board, and I'm trying to think what we should create first. I know, we're going to create the box portion that the wine bottle bottom sits in. So for that, you're going to need, I'm using thick basic white cardstock, but you could also use a colored cardstock as well. That would work. So for this piece, my piece measures 10 inches by 4 1/4. 10 by 4 1/4. Put that 10-inch side up at the top. Let me find my stylus tool. And I'm going to score at the 2 3/8 inch mark, the 4 3/4 inch mark, the 7 1/8 inch mark, and the 9 1/2 inch mark. Turn it to whatever short side you want and score at the 2 3/8 inch mark. Okay. So let's take a look at this piece. So let me hold it up into the light. So there's the shorter side, like this shorter segment. This is what's going to be the sides of the box. The squares are going to be the bottom of the box, okay? So make sure you identify the squares, okay? Because we need to cut away a little bit of this piece. So we're going to cut away this corner that's next to these squares. So I'm gonna help with a visual here, because I didn't have my diagram ready. So I'm just gonna kind of outline this with a pencil and scribble this. Okay, so maybe you can see a little bit better. So there's 4 squares in a row, and then this piece right here on the end is what I'm gonna cut away first. So just cut, 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 and we'll just snip this away. Okay. And then we need to cut in between all of the squares. If you want, you can do this on a trimmer. I'm gonna cut, today I'm gonna live like a rebel. And I'm gonna cut with scissors. I really like cutting with my trimmer actually, because it gives me really straight lines. So if you want more of a perfected look, grab your trimmer and do it with the trimmer instead. Okay, so this is what your piece looks like. Okay, This is the side tab, and all of these are going to become the bottom. So I did a little stamping on my box down here at the bottom. So now is a really good time to grab your stamps if you want to decorate this and just go to town, because your sheet is nice and flat. Don't do what I do and design your box and then say, oh, I want stamp down there, and then you have to kind of stamp in the air, which isn't fun. So I'm going to take Lemon Lime Twist. It's my lightest color, and I am just going to repeat stamp this little guy. I know this is going to take a little while. If I had a bigger stamp, maybe I would do this, but it's just basically really quick stamping all along here. And I can go right over top of the score lines. That doesn't matter. This is just an itty bitty stamp. Just come along here. And if you wanted to, you could stamp in Lemon Lime Twist, and you can take some of the other colors and add them and kind of create like more of a confetti look with a whole bunch of different colors. But I decided to keep it kind of more neutral and just adding just a tiny bit of color at the bottom just will break up the monotonous white of the whole package. The reason I chose white for my outside was so that the balloon would pop, and on a white background it's easier to see a nice color. But you can choose whatever. If you want to do this piece as a colored box, and you could do like a colored part that goes over top, you could totally do that too. And then you could just do some tone on tone stamping. So you can see I just stamped along that top part. Those will become the sides of my box. So let me put that away. All right, so now we need to fold this along the score lines. I'm just going to use my bone folder to help smooth things down. All right. Don't let me forget afterwards to tell you what my big news is, because some of my team members already know, because I told them during my live this week, but I haven't told my customers yet, or most of my customers. Unless you've had a conversation with me this week, you won't know. But don't let me forget, because I am a little forgetful sometimes. Okay, so I should tell you what I'm doing, right? So this little side tab, I put glue on that, okay? And so the easiest way to bring this together is to fold over just one segment and then fold over the other segment so it comes right on top. And what this allows you to do is allows you to get a really nice square going. Just make sure you're just really flat up at the top and press down. You can use your bone folder. Okay, so now we're going to open this up. Okay, and this is all these flaps are what is going to create the bottom. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to fold down this first one, and I'm just going to put a little bit of Tombow around the outside, and then fold that first one down. I'll press everything together in a moment. Do a little bit of Tombow here. Tombow, if you don't know me, Tombow is the glue that I use to hold most of my projects together. It really holds well. I'm putting a little extra on this last one, and then I'm just kind of smushing this together. Make sure it's square, and then I'm going to flip this over. Use the bottom end of my bone folder, the blunt end. Okay, and that's all there is to the box bottom. It is ready to go. And now I'm going to show you how to make that part, this cover that comes over the top. Okay, so we're going to score, the cover comes, you need two pieces to create it because our cardstock's not long enough. So I'm going to show you how to score both of those pieces at the same time, because we're going to score first and then we're going to cut. Okay, so this piece right here measures 11 inches by 4 3/4. 11 inches by 4 3/4 inches. Okay, put that 11-inch side up at the top. We're going to score this. I'm going to stand. I like to stand when I score. It's just easier. So I'm going to score this at the 5/8 inch mark, the 1 1/8 inch mark, and the 8 5/8 inch mark. So 5/8, 1 1/8, and 8 5/8. Okay, so I'll just show you real quick what that looks like. Let me hold this up so you can kind of get an idea. Let's turn the lines. Okay, so you can see the two lines over here a little bit, and you can see this line over here. So you're going to take your trimmer now, and you're going to put the short side, the shorter side up, one of the shorter sides up at the top, and you're going to line this up with the 2 3/8 inch mark. 2 3/8. Basically, you're cutting it in half on the short side. And I'm just going to cut it all the way up. And now I have the two pieces I need to create that cover. Let's bring in this punch. Okay, so the end with the two little score lines, that's the end that I'm going to punch first. Let's see if I can punch both pieces of cardstock through at the same time. Let's live dangerously. So I'm going to make sure both of these are on the correct end with the two skinny score lines close together. So let's line these up, stack them. I'm going to pop this in here like this. I don't know if you can see that. Let me angle that so the light is shining on there. So pop it in there, make sure it's in the corner, and give it a punch. Okay, so you've got that nice little punch. Now flip it over to the other side, okay, and come in from the same direction you came in before, and then give it another punch. Okay, so we've done both of these at the same time. Saves us a little time, and now we've got decorative ends on both ends. Okay, so the other thing we want to do, we're going to fold this along the score lines in just a moment, but I just want to show you one little thing. See, this is the box on the side, but this is the cover piece. So we also need to stamp the cover piece with this pattern, otherwise it won't look the same all the way around. So the reason I stamped my box on all four sides is because you don't know if someone's going to take this out, or you might take it out and not put it back in the correct stamp direction. So if you stamp all four sides, you're always good no matter which way you turn the box. But this is not the side of the box, so we need to also stamp this. So I'm going to show you real quick how I decide how far to go down. I put my little box here, and then it kind of gives me an idea of how far I need to come down. So you'll see right here, this square down here right at the bottom, right here and here, that is going to be underneath. You won't see that. That's going to be the bottom. So we need to stamp this area from the score line up to here. And you can see this is the end with the decorative end. So let's just go ahead, and I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. It's going to be about there. And so I'm just going to start right there and come across. I'll bring in my little scrap piece of paper again, because I don't want ink on my surface. And I'll just keep going. Actually, you know what? I'm going to just keep going right across and do both of these at the same time. And just come across, and this is just going to give it a uniform look. whatever you do on the sides of the box, also do here. That way it will look like a seamless project. Finish that one. Let me finish this one. And if you can turn your little thing a little bit as you're going along. I just kind of got lazy and held it in the same spot. Okay, so this is ready to be folded now. So we're going to fold these bottoms over. Okay, then this comes up. This next one is going to fold over. And then this last piece is going to fold back in the opposite direction to kind of create that tab. So let me hold this out. Can you see what that looks like? So that's how I folded it. And you do both pieces the same way. Okay. And if you have any questions going along, please ask them. I'm going to read all your comments before I finish my video, and then I'll answer them. So I just want to show you these two squares at the bottom are going to glue together and overlap. Okay, we'll glue those. And then these two ends up at the top, they're going to glue together too. Okay, I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do the bottom first. I don't know if it really matters. So I'm just going to do like a square outline, squiggle in. Use a little bit more glue. Then I'm going to align these two babies up. Let's make sure they line up. And let me press this down. Just smooth that down. Then I'm going to come and put Tombow on one of these top fancy end tabs, and then I'll bring these two together. Just make sure you've got them lined up as best as possible, and then squeeze down. Okay. So if you want to give that just a little bit to dry, just so that you're not pulling on those seams, and then we're going to come in and we'll, in the meantime, this slides into here, but first we need the cider bottle. So let's just leave these aside for just a second, and we'll create the last major part of this project, which is the belly band. Okay. So the belly band, let me grab the piece that I need for that. This piece also gets scored. So this piece measures 10 inches by 1 inch, 10 by 1 inch. And we're going to score this. Actually, we're going to score this similarly to the first square box we scored. It scores at 2 3/8, 4 3/4, 7 1/8, and 9 1/2. Okay. This is what it looks like. Hope you can see here. It's got 4 sections, and it's got a skinny section at the end. That skinny section is what is going to come together on the other side, and we're going to create a band that goes across the box. Okay, so that's the band, and we need to create these fringe pieces. So I'm going to die cut those now so I can show you how that's done. And we're also going to die cut the balloon that goes on the front of the piece. So let's grab our die cut machine. And I'm using my big machine for some of the pieces. For this particular project, you could get by with using the mini machine. So if you just have a mini machine, this will actually work in the mini machine because you're going to put through this fringe die going this way, not going this way, okay? And the balloon will also fit through your mini machine. I just grabbed my big machine here, so I'll show you what I'm doing, show you the sandwich. So I've got my cutting platform, which is the number 1. I've got my thin die adapter, which is the number 2. And then I've got a clear cutting plate, a number 3. And then I'm going to need a bunch of these cut. I'm going to need 6 fringe pieces. So I've got some little strips cut to 6 inches by an inch. 6 by an inch, okay? This piece measures 6 inches across, okay? So what you want to do, so if you want to create a fringe, you're going to take your die. I'm going to take a little piece of this labeling and cover up tape, or use the top of a Post-it note. I'm going to put this down. You want to make sure that you put your die, if you're using a 1-inch piece, you want to make sure that your die is showing about a 1/4 inch of cardstock. Because if you don't do that, your fringe won't be cut all the way through at the bottom. So you want to just put it down just a teeny tiny bit, about a 1/4 of an inch. And we're going to go ahead and roll this through. And I'll show you what that does. So as I was using this the other day, I noticed this has a tendency to stick a little bit. So all you need to do, I'm just going to grab my wax paper across the room. This piece has been heavily used. I took a piece of wax paper. I love wax paper, by the way. I use it for the kitchen as well. But I just took a piece and balled it up. And you just rub it on here. And what that does, it waxes the little cuts that you're making. And then when you peel off this piece, it's a little easier. So if you notice it's starting to get a little stuck, then just give it a little wax. So this is what the piece looks like. Isn't that cool? It's got all the fringe. So you're going to need to cut a bunch more. So you're going to need, if you're going to do it the same way as me, you're going to need 2 of each color that you're using. And I kind of like to use, sorry, my phone is binging. I will turn that into silent mode for a moment. Okay, so I've got my fringe pieces. I pre-cut some, so you're going to need 2 in each color. I've got Azure, Afternoon, Berry Burst, and Lemon Lime Twist. These were all 6 by 1 inch pieces, and I cut them all the same way. And so let's just set that aside. And I'm also going to need a balloon. So let's cut a balloon real quick. I'm going to cut the balloon first and then stamp on it, because this stamping is pretty easy. So I'll just use this leftover piece of Lemon Lime Twist I have here. Choose whatever color you want for the balloon. It's whatever makes you happy. I'm happy that Lemon Lime Twist is back. I used to love this color, and I'm so happy to have it back. So there's my Lemon Lime Twist balloon. Put this aside. I think I've done all the die cutting, so that will make it a little easier. I won't have to come back. So let's bring back our belly band, and we're going to bring in our fringe pieces. We're going to do Azure Afternoon first. I'm trying to think how I did this. I think I did this. I put the little tab end. See the little tab end? I put it over on my left side. And then I'm going to put this, think about this piece. I'm going to layer this about 1/3 up. Then this is going to be the next third, and then this one's going to be the next third, okay? So you're going to start, and then you're going to layer like that. So what I want to do, and then I'm going to put this one next to it, okay? Sometimes you'll notice that I left a little bit more space on like when I came down. It truly doesn't matter because in the end, you're not going to see most of it. It's going to be covered up. So even if you don't do an exact perfect fringe, it will work. Okay, so I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to put Tombow all the way along this bottom, just like that. Kind of see that first line. And then I'll take this piece. I'm going to ignore this tab right here, and I'm going to line it up right with the score line. Push that up just a teeny tiny bit. I'm going to come around here, smooth that down. Just kind of make sure it's straight, because if you don't get that first one straight, everything's going to be crooked after that. And then we're going to put that one right on the edge here. Okay, so that looks pretty good. And then we're going to cut off right here. And this one's going to go just, if you do it exactly the same as me, this last one is going to just stick off just a teeny tiny bit over the top. Don't worry about that. I actually want it to stick out just a teeny tiny bit more. Okay, so now we'll do the next color. And this one is your lemon lime twist. So again, we're going to put a squiggly line. It's so much easier to do it like this than to try and do pieces on each side, maybe after it's already folded and stuff. So I just find that this is just easier to do like this. And I've already got glue on here, so I just need to line this up. Okay, and press down. And the other thing you can do is press with your bone folder. You can really press a lot harder than you can with your finger. You can just exert a little bit more pressure. Okay, and then we'll come in with the last one. So again, we'll just squiggle a line like that, and then we'll line this up top. And now it's just a matter of, you want to make sure it's lined up at the top. So this last one has a little bit of bulk to come over top, so make sure that's all kind of solidified before you go on to the next one. And then we'll come in here. Just make sure this one's lined up as well. Oh, we're going to have to cut two at once. Would have been easier if I had done the lemon lime twist cut off first, but that's okay. Okay, so now we're going to come up and trim these pieces off. Okay, let's come in with the bone folder and just give this berry burst one just a really good press down. Okay, so your belly band, all the fringe is already on there. So now you're going to identify the score lines, and you're just going to fold along the score line. You can see if you can help that a little bit. You know, you might have been able to fold first, but it lays flatter if you didn't fold first. And then this little end tab right here should be pretty good. So with this one, we're going to fold over one of the squares and put Tombow on this little end tab right here. So we've got this, one of them's folded over, and then again, we're gonna take that over top and we're gonna just align those two, make sure it looks square up at the top. And you're just gonna press down on there. Maybe exert a little pressure with your bone folder. Make sure that tab is coming together. Okay, and so you've got your little cute little fringed cover. Okay, so we're going to take this. We're going to take this piece. We're going to grab the apple cider. Doesn't matter which way this goes in. You can take that. We're going to slide that in, and it's just going to need a little bit of help getting over that foil on the top. This, if you wanted to omit the belly band, it might actually be okay. I just, because it's a heavy bottle, I don't want it to tip out at all. So the belly band just helps secure that all in place so it doesn't come out at all. Okay, so then we're going to add this over top. And the cool thing about the fringe is that it's going to hide this transition between the belly band and this piece down here, because that fringe hangs over top. And so if you get it to the point where it's like, when it's coming down, it gets a little stuck, you can just fringe those out just a little bit, lift them out so that it covers and goes over the top. It's so cute, right? Okay. Last thing we need to do is get this little balloon ready. So we've got our balloon already. We're going to come back in with lemon lime twist and just go ahead. This is, it's kind of like a confetti balloon. So I'll just come in, stamp this over top. It just adds like a little bit of fun to the balloon. Then we're going to grab a little piece of basic white, our Happy Labels punch. This piece measures 2 7/8 by 3/4 of an inch. Let's open up this punch. I'm going to slide this in the middle segment. It's going to come all the way to the end. And I'm going to fit this in to make sure it's in that space. And then I'm going to give it a punch. Pull that out. See? Cute, cute. Do the same thing for the other side. Fit it in the space. You might need to get it closer to the end before you can do that. But make sure it's in there all the way to the end. And then lift this out. And now you've got a cute little label to stamp something on. There's a lot of great greetings in this stamp set. So you don't necessarily need to go with the one that I chose. There's a happy birthday. There's so thrilled for you. You did it. You choose something that speaks to you. And I'm using As Your Afternoon. And I really like this greeting because it's kind of generic. And there's so many different things to celebrate, right? So it could be a birthday, it could be a promotion, it could be some good news. Okay, so I want to create a little bit of a string for my balloon, and I'm going to use this 2022-2024 in color baker's twine. It comes in all of these nice colors, and I'm going to, this color is actually Parakeet Party, but Parakeet Party and Lemon Lime Twist, especially on this twine, look pretty similar. So I'm just going to grab a piece and just cut it. I wanted to experiment to see if I could get this to curl better, so I have my little knife here. Sometimes you can get it to like curl just a little bit and give it kind of a wave. So it's got a little bit of a wave to it. It's not quite as good as when you use just regular baker's twine. This one has a parakeet party twist in it. Okay, so you want just a little bit of adhesive right here. I'm going to use, let's use some Stampin' Seal. I'm just going to put a little bit down here, down the center. I don't use Stampin' Seal very much, but sometimes it's good for something like this. I'm just going to put this string on here. So this is the back of the balloon, and then I'm going to take a dimensional. I just need one and put it right there. And then we're going to add this just somewhere on here. Give it a press from the back. You know what? I think this is just a tad bit long. I'm going to cut it just a little bit shorter. Okay. And then I'm just going to add this label in the center right here. Just put a little tiny bit of glue. Remember, you don't want this label to hang off the edge, because if it does, your slider piece is going to have trouble coming back over top. Oh, I'm off camera a bit. So it's just like this. So when your slider piece comes along, if it's hanging off, you can't get it back on very nicely. So this just comes up, and that is all there is to your little cider container. You slip this off, and then this can come out. Between all of these three pieces, I feel like it's a pretty sturdy container. That is sturdy, about as sturdy as you can build for cardstock, because this is, you know, glass and liquids are heavy, right? So this has 4 cardstock pieces on the bottom. This has a doubled over cardstock piece. And then your belly band is going to secure it from, you know, accidentally coming out from the side. I don't think this could come out now. Like, I'm holding this with one, shove this aside for a second. I'm holding this with one pinky, and this little guy, this bottle, is staying in there. Okay, so it's I feel like it's pretty secure in there. So that is definitely something that I would want for a holder of something that has glass in it. All right, I'm coming back over to you. That took me a long time. I did a lot of explaining. It's a kind of a different sort of holder than I've done in the past. So yeah. So I hope you like that. I'm going to pop my host code up there one more time. And remember, if you spend $50 with me in the month of May, at least 50, you will be getting these tinsel gems coming to you in June. So I wanted to talk a little bit about, I have news real quick. I'm going to do this. I got a haircut. No, that's not my news. I'm kidding. My news is we bought a house. My husband last week, it was a crazy weekend, I tell you. I don't know if we ever do things the easy way, but my husband was teaching a course in Spain last weekend. He was finishing off. He had already taught it that week, and he was coming back on Sunday. I went to go see 4 open houses on Saturday. One of the open houses turned out to be a house I really loved, and so I texted my husband. I said, I think I found a house for us to put an offer on. And I said, look it over. Like, the realtor had done a video on it, and so I didn't do a personal video because she had done a really good job. So we went ahead and put in an offer. It was a little crazy because there was more than one person interested in it, but they were accepting rolling offers, which I think actually worked in our favor. They didn't have an offer deadline. so that we didn't have like we weren't bidding against a whole bunch of people all at once. There was just kind of at that moment there was only like one other person trying to bid against us. At least I think so. There might have been others. I'm not sure. But it got a little crazy, and my husband is over in Spain. It's like the middle of the night for him. It's evening for me, but it's the middle of the night, and he's staying up late, and we're going back and forth with our real estate agent and their real estate agent. And finally it got down to we basically gave them an offer, and we gave them 1 hour to accept the offer. And they accepted it. I was really shocked because my husband was like, "This is the price. We're not going over this amount. This is it." And yeah, we actually got the house, and everything's been moving forward very, very quickly because just the way the times are. So we will be moving into our new house at the end of June. So it's, yeah, crazy time. I'm very excited. You will see in the future photos of our house and my new craft room and everything. So it's kind of exciting to be able to like start afresh, start new, be able to do things in the house we've been renting for almost 9 years now. And this girl, I love to do stuff in the house. Like I love to change things, and I haven't been able to do that for 9 years. So it's going to be nice to be able to do a little bit of stuff with the house. So that's my exciting news, and I think you'll love it because whenever you change something out in your life, it kind of makes you think differently, and it helps you think outside the box. So I hope that helps me in my creativity. So, all right, I am going to I'm going to read your questions and comments real quick. Good morning, Vera Blue. She said she's excited to see this tutorial for these mini bottles of sparkling cider. I have a few bottles of those she has them in her pantry already. That's awesome. Good for you. And it's sunny and cloudy in Tennessee today. It's kind of cloudy here. We got sprinkled on this morning. Good morning, Janine. Good morning, Marty. Good morning, Stuart. Marty says her weather is no clouds and sun for Friday. That's nice. And Marty says something cute. She said, "It's Friday, it's sunny, a neat life project from Brenda. What more could I ask for?" That's really sweet. Good morning, Deborah from Virginia Beach, and Cindy from Everett, Washington, and Tracy from Maine. Marty likes my haircut. Thank you. It was time. I don't know why I let it get so long. It's just like, it's like always like an ordeal to make an appointment because like I'm kind of like a no fuss kind of girl. I don't wear makeup. I just I do shower every day, but I just like, other than that, like I don't do my nails. I don't do makeup. I just kind of like want to like shower and go. And so, and I throw my hair back up in a ponytail. So I just kind of like grow really long. And I told my husband, like, I need to go get this haircut. And so I just chopped it off. I chopped it off to the point where I can still put it back in a ponytail. So that was my criteria. It needs to be long enough for a ponytail. Stuart says neither his wife and he doesn't drink either. And we had children at our wedding, so we use sparkling cider instead of champagne. It's a very good idea because I personally don't drink a lot of alcohol. I don't have a problem with alcohol. I have no desire, like it doesn't call to me or anything like that. But my problem with alcohol is that it dehydrates me. And when I get dehydrated, I get a headache. I finally have figured this out after like 50 plus years on this earth. I have a problem with things that dehydrate me, and alcohol is one of them. So it's not that I don't feel good. It's because of the alcohol. It's because the alcohol is sucking the liquids out of me. So I can't have too much, otherwise I get a headache. So go figure. I finally figured that out, and so I'm just alcohol is like sparingly. Vera Blue said, if you have a Dollar Tree where you live, they sell those mini bottles there. Oh, wow, that would be a really good price. So thank you for mentioning that. Go check it out, Dollar Tree for those mini bottles. Marty said, or a small bottle of tequila. You know what? I don't know the different fits, so you might need to play with my dimensions if you use a different size. Good morning, Dawn from Washington State. Marty says she needs that dye. The fringe dye is awesome. Marty says she always has sparkling grape juice for New Year's Eve. I'll have to remember this for grandkids for this year. Yeah, it's good because if you have children, they can have something that's sparkling as well. Or for the people like me who have special requests, that's also good to have. Good morning, Pat. Good morning, Linda. Good morning, Deirdre. She said, just in time to see the box. So cute. What a great box for mini wines, too. You know what? I don't think I have any mini wines right now, so I can't really compare if they would fit. So you'll just have to take some measurements. Cher says, great carrier. Pat says, congratulations on your new home. And so does Cindy. Thank you. Deborah says, congratulations too. Marty says, wow, it's great news for you. I'm so happy for you guys. Cher says, congratulations. Nancy said, great news. Congratulations now for the packing. I know it's gonna be a little crazy in here for a while. So please excuse if things are a little wonky here, but I'm going to try and get everything done. Pat says, congratulations. Thank you. Linda says, very cute idea. Pat says, oh, Brenda, it also starts a migraine for her, so no alcohol. You know, I wonder, and this is just me personally, like if for me it dehydrates me, and I wonder if that is also a problem for migraine, people who have migraines, just the dehydration factor, if that's like just a trigger. It could be something else in the alcohol, but yeah, for me, I finally figured it out. I finally figured it out because of asparagus. Yes, so I actually like asparagus, and I had asparagus 2 days in a row as my vegetable for dinner because I like asparagus, right? So we just happened to have it 2 days in a row. The first day, like the next day, I had a little bit of headache. And then after I had it the second day in a row, I developed a massive headache, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, why? Like, I'm eating all these healthy things and I don't know why I've got this headache. It was frustrating. So I started like Googling asparagus, like things that I had eaten that I don't eat every day. And I put in asparagus and causes headaches just out of, curiosity. And sure enough, it came up that asparagus is a diuretic, and it can like pull the liquids out of you, pull the water from you, and that can cause a headache. And so then it started like me down this path of like, what else have I been eating? Like cranberries. I love cranberries, love cranberry sauce. Cranberries also is a diuretic. I'm trying to think of other things that I have to be careful with. I think even mint tea, which I also love, that can be a diuretic. So I have to be careful. So I did have asparagus the other day, and I gave myself a smaller portion. I gave my husband more because he doesn't suffer from that, and I was fine. Just one day, smaller portion. So I think I can do the same thing maybe with alcohol, have half a glass of wine, to toast everyone. And then, but all because of asparagus is how I found out one of the triggers of headaches that I have. So I'm putting it out there for all of you just to keep that in mind. If you get headaches like me, look at what you're eating, and see if any of the stuff you're eating is a diuretic. That could be one of the causes. So, but there's many causes, but that was one of my key causes. So it's good to find that out. Linda says, so happy you found the house you wanted. Thank you. Mary says, great idea, thank you. And Marty said, if you cut the fringe die on a piece of paper that is wider than the die, does it just cut slits and not fringe? Yes. Yes, that is absolutely the truth. So if I had cut that piece, so if you take a 6-inch piece or wider, then it would, I'm trying to think, if it was less than, yeah, it would be connected in the center. So you could probably do a cool thing with that too. Like I have thought about that, just like cutting the center part and then just using it as kind of like a connector wrap, and that might look really interesting too. But yeah, it will not, where's my die? Real quick. So you can see the cut lines don't go all the way to the end. And so this is like an inch wide. So if you don't do, move this over into place, if you don't shift it down so that it's in the cut zone, you're going to have like, the center is cut and the fringe won't. Then you'll have to go back if you want to. You have to cut the fringe, because I did that once or twice. I didn't get it down far enough, and then I had to cut in between the fringe. You don't want to do that. So, all right. Nancy said, I have after COVID headaches that I never had before. Oh, yikes. I'm sorry about that, Nancy. Just, yeah, COVID has wreaked havoc on some of my friends' lives. Not all of them, but I'm sorry that you have that. Pat said, thank you for the headache information. You're welcome. I mean, it's one cause. So, and it's documented. It's not the only one for sure, but it's a simple one that, you might really love a food, but it might actually not be good for your head. So just something to keep in mind. All right, guys, watch for my project sheet coming to your inbox tomorrow. I hope you have a fabulous weekend. I get to show my husband the house this weekend, because he actually hasn't, he bought a house he hasn't walked in yet. And actually he did that when we bought our house in Tennessee. He bought it without me being there. So now we're even, I guess. We've had 3 houses in our lives, or bought 3 houses. The first one, we worked very closely together with a builder. So we were both in on the process. And the last 2 houses, I bought it with him sight unseen, and now the same thing's happening. So tomorrow I get to show my husband our new house. We're going to do like a walkthrough tomorrow. But we're pretty good. Like, we have quite the system for like the criteria for a house. So I'm pretty sure he's going to be happy with the house, but I am a little bit nervous. So I'll tell you about that next week and tell you if you actually like the house that we bought together. Okay, well, you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you next week at my regular times, Tuesdays and Fridays at 10 a.m. Eastern. Tuesdays is on Facebook and Fridays is on YouTube. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.